I think professional networking sites like LinkedIn is a great tool for recruiters to find talent that maybe might not be in the job market today, but could give us referrals for candidates we should talk to, or even would be interested in talking to us about an opportunity, even if they're currently working. So I think that site is huge. As far as what candidates should do, I believe that they have to have a profile on LinkedIn. It needs to be professional. Some of the best profiles I've seen actually list all the job experience that candidate has, and then also has recommendations from colleagues that they've worked with in the past. So having a peer recommend them on LinkedIn would be good. Also a manager or a supervisor.
How should candidates go about soliciting those recommendations via LinkedIn?
You know, I think there's a mechanism on the site that can actually send a request to that person in their network to do so. But I think it's nice to do it with a personal phone call first. Call them up, make that contact, or shoot them an email and just ask them, would it be okay if I sent you a form to fill out for me for a recommendation on my LinkedIn profile? And that way it's not going to blindside that person, and you would also probably have a better success rate of getting those recommendations filled in.
When you're reviewing candidates via LinkedIn and you see all of those testimonials to the candidate's prowess in the workforce, like how do you read in between the lines and know if it's actually an accurate portrayal?
Well, I look to see what position that person held in relationship to the candidate that I'm recruiting. So if they were a peer, I know they're probably going to be a little bit more lenient in their recommendation. If it was more of a supervisor, I know that they would be more reluctant to put something maybe not factual in a recommendation. So I think it's important for candidates to have a nice balance of recommendations on their LinkedIn profile.
Do you think it would be appropriate, almost like in letters of recommendation, to provide talking points to former superiors and peers?
Sure. No, I don't think that would be inappropriate. I think it might guide that person through a recommendation, because as I've been asked to write recommendations before, it's kind of intimidating. You kind of, wow, I got to remember all those things about that person. If it's provided to me and I know it's factual, then it's easier for me to write.
Okay. One other question, and I know you're really up to date on EEOC requirements, etc. When you actually see a photograph of the candidate, which depicts what their ethnicity is, in a lot of cases their gender and age, how do you deal with protecting yourselves from lawsuits?
I'd rather not see a picture of a candidate. So in a LinkedIn profile, I think there are probably about 50-50 people with pictures and people without. But I certainly always try to focus in just on the experience part. And when I do a search on LinkedIn, I usually do it for a specific geographic area. So I'm pulling up everybody that has a particular, either employer in their background or a particular level of skill set in their background within that zip code. So it really doesn't matter to me, what the picture is going to tell me.
Some professional HR representatives have described LinkedIn as a passive way to find employment. What would be your response to that?
I think the initial impression that people have when you have a LinkedIn profile is it's for networking for my current business and to help me in my current position with my current employer. I think everybody kind of knows that recruiters are out there looking at LinkedIn, and it's also a passive recruitment method, but you really can't determine if that's what somebody's doing it for, if they put up there, a lot about their business and a lot about what they're doing currently in their role.
Yeah. So I guess somebody who has a prominent position in the company, who is really not as actively seeking a position and doesn't want to flood the airwaves with resumes and cover letters, that could be like a clandestine, surreptitious way to put their name out there that they might be looking for another position.
Yeah. And I've interviewed people from doing LinkedIn searches that was their main reason. They were looking for employment, and that's why they created a LinkedIn profile.